IGT, baby.
What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Junior Mafia coming back to you with another video. So we got to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. And before I get into that, let me get a round of applause to Determined Italy. Y'all showed up and showed out as always. You know, from Clash of Italy even to Monday Night Raw, man. Y'all stepped up and show up from the start of the show towards the end of the show. So y'all deserve y'all flowers and definitely want to acknowledge y'all on that standpoint right there, man. And y'all international crowds, y'all keep it going. Keep it going. Y'all let the U.S. crowds, y'all put them on notice right now. This is how you celebrate your talent, you know, for a company like WWE. So I want to give y'all respect for that and say y'all did a hell of a good job. So we definitely got to talk about what happened on the show now. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So we have Roman Reigns, to kick off Monday Night Raw, coming off his win in Tribal Combat against Jacob Fatu, which, you know, after Jacob lost, now he has to acknowledge Roman Reigns now, and now, you know, he have to do whatever he says now and fall in line. So you see Jay and them fired up right now. Roman Reigns, you know, aura building as usual, gets the title and all. Music hits, so he coming out there. And before this man can even speak, like I said, this crowd was at an all-time high. They were saying, I don't know what it was in a language, but it definitely was energetic. Then they had the OTC chants, and it was Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. So it was very, like, tough for him to even say a word, but he was just soaking it all and just embracing the moment, man. And that was fantastic to see. So once it was done doing, it's all right, get down to business. And, you know, everybody's here, and now he's just waiting for the arrival of Jacob. So Jay talking about everybody's here and all that. He's late to show up, and, you know, this is the acknowledgement ceremony and stuff. So no, just waiting for the arrival with Jacob. So entrance music hits, he comes out, gets into the ring. So in the midst of that happening, you see Jay talk his shit as always, and Jacob turns his attention towards him. And after he did that, he snatches the mic from Jay and pretty much was saying to Roman, you know, I lost. I knew the values of what happened if I would have won that World Heavyweight Championship, you know, in Tribal Combat, and a lot of things that would have benefited me. But I came up short. I took that L, and I'm going to keep my word as a man. And that being that I acknowledge you as my tribal chief, and I will fall in line. But in the midst of that, he turns his attention to Jay and said, you know, I don't have to acknowledge anything about you. And even called him a punk ass as well. So, you know, Jay, being a hothead like he is, fired up as well. So we knew that it's going to be some frictions alongside with that. But, you know, in the midst of that, Roman had to, you know, get his attention back to let him know what you had to do. So after he did all that, he even proceeds to go down one knee, extend his hand out, and as a way of saying, I acknowledge you. And all. So now this is official. He did it. He did it. And this makes the bloodline even more stronger than what they was. They were strong when Solo used to be a part of them, but now it triples that more now that you have Jacob in the mix. So that is going to be crazy. And, you know, they all set the ones up right there, and now it's just crowd fired up right now. So, you know, business is about to pick up. And Roman even stated, like I said, he got a lot of people on his hit list right now that are going to fall in the line. He pointed to Solo and the MFTs, making sure they're going to do so as well. Even mentioned LA Knight and Royce Keys, which we will get into LA Knight later on in the show as well. So, we had a qualifying match for the King of the Ring tournament, and there was a fatal four-way, that being Carmelo Hayes versus Penta versus Solo versus Obafemi. And you know Obafemi is fired up, especially after what happened in his match against Brock Lesnar and losing the way he did after taking 7 F5s. So he's on crash out time and looking to pack anybody up. So I like how he did sell his left arm after being caught in the Kimura lock multiple times, and that playing like a big factor as well. So in this match, it was fantastic as well. You know, they're gonna try to, you know, put the attack on Oba to knock him out of the equation, but he kept fighting back and was completely dominant. And also having Tama Tonga on his side with Solo in his matchup, you know he was going to be involved as well, which he definitely did, and took him out the equation. But I would say towards the tail end of it, Oba got up and he takes out Tama Tonga, runs around, slaps the shit out of Carmelo Hayes, drops him, goes into the ring. I believe he takes out Penta, if I'm not mistaken, and then turns his attention to Solo, tosses him as well, hits it with a falls from Grace, and then covers him for the 1, the 2, and the 3, and now he advances into tournament. But once that was done, he proceeds to grab the mic and was saying that, you know, after hearing what Brock Lesnar was saying after he won the match, saying that, you know, he gotta win and I gotta win. Him talking about how, you know, when it comes to Brock, like, you gotta learn how to take ass whippings. And, you know, he was saying that, yeah, I know how to take an ass whipping, but I know how to give one too. And brings up about, yeah, like we're both 1-1, but down the line we're gonna cross paths with each other and we're gonna probably put this to rest. So all roads is going to lead to SummerSlam, which I think are going to be them for that final time. And we'll see where Obafemi comes out better than ever and finally put Brock Lesnar down and have him retire 2 times in 1 year. So we shall see. But that was a very good match to kick off the show. I enjoyed it a lot, you know, for what it was. Then we had a commercial, not commercial, but it was a backstage segment after Clash of Italy went off air, and you saw Cody Rhodes and Roman meet like side by side with each other, and they just gave that stare down. And, you know, after that they left off, but it gave you hints like, yo, down the line they all gonna probably run it back again. I just hope this time it ain't gonna be for no unification with the titles. That's one thing I hope does not happen, because we don't need no double champion again. Nah, we got out of that era right now, so we shall see. But you see Roman looking at it backstage, and he was saying that he's going to deal with Cody as well. Like, you know, I'm going to handle that. So he's telling Jay, like, you know, when it comes to Jacob, like, you know, you're going to have to check him and get him on board with what's going on right now, because I don't want these shenanigans happening again and whatnot. And we definitely need to get that shit situated. So he also told Jay as well, like, yo, you're in a qualifying match, so I'm looking for you to take all of them down, win King of the Ring, and go get that other championship on SmackDown and learn to him facing Cody Rhodes. So I'm not saying that he's gonna win the King of the Ring tournament. Hell no. But you know, there's history with Jay and Cody, especially they used to be tag team together, and even then when they had their encounterment, Jay was in his crash out mode, and Cody, you know, he was definitely, you know, in that moment there, like, yo, if we had to butt heads and fight, listen, we're gonna throw the fuck down. So they kind of planting the seeds to see what would happen later on, like down the line, if they do cross paths with each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, you know, as well. So we'll definitely see what happens. So we had some very good matches on this card too. Like I said, the crowd been very energetic for matches that was not supposed to be good, end up being good. So, you know, I want to give a huge respect to them. It was one thing I missed too. The match for the Queen of the Ring tournament, Io Sky ends up defeating Last Legend, Roxanne, and Julia to move on. So I thought it was good. But backstage after that, Roxanne, she is livid at that point now, and you see Liv Morgan come there, and she's decided that she's got put in the tournament, which I don't fucking know because you're a champion, so you have no business being in this tournament, because whoever wins that gets to choose their opponent to face, who is currently holding the Women's World Champion or the WWE Women's Championship. So I thought that was stupid, but whatever. So Roxanne look fed up right now, and you hear Liv saying, "Oh, don't worry about it, Roxy. We still in the tournament, and at the end of the day, the Judgment Day, we're a family. So regardless who wins and all that, it represents all of us and all." And even when she was saying that, Raquel looked a certain way, because it's like, wait a minute, like, I'm in this tournament too. What you trying to say? So, she was rubbing people the wrong way. So again, C's been planning as well and all that shit. So, there's that. But it's a matter of time to where a turn is happening as well. I also want to talk about LA Knight, who after Penta was talking to Adam Pearce as far as getting that Intercontinental Championship match confirmed, once it was done, you see LA Knight come into the picture, and he was very highly upset after what happened earlier in the show with the whole bloodline thing now starting to ramp up again. And he thinking like it's giving shades of what happened 4 years ago, and think Adam Pearce had a focal point into all of this and how this whole day came apart, with him and Roman Reigns, and how the interaction they had with each other, which I thought was funny. Like, if you haven't seen that segment, go check that out. This nigga LA Knight, man, is something special, and I feel like they need to really strap a rocket on him, and he needs to have a title. The fact that he don't have him right now is still crazy to me, but he was already like upset, of the fact of Adam Pearce putting all the attention on Roman Reigns, and he gets to pretty much do whatever he wants and all, and LA Knight trying to shut all that shit down with the bloodline and shit, and how did we let it be known, like, yo, like, you trying to make them a faction and trying to make them less of a headache, that they all in one accord. But it's like, we saw what happened the last time, and they think they're gonna run shit again. That's not happening, and he gonna look to put a stop to it. So I feel like all this is setting up to where Roman Reigns gonna have LA Knight on his radar once again. I think it's been years ago since they encountered each other, which I think they had a match at I believe it was Night of Champions, and I think it was in Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can fact check me, but I do think Roman's next opponent could potentially be LA Knight now, which makes the most sense because he has beef with the Usos now. Now they aligned themselves with Roman. He hates Roman, of course, and now you add Jacob Fatu into the mix, so a lot gonna be there. But I do love the direction they're going with this, man, and I just hope they continue to build this up. So we'll see what happens also. And then, of course, we had our main event match, and that is Seth Rollins taking on Bron Breakker, which, in my opinion, that was fantastic. It was very enjoyable. Like, they didn't waste no time. Both men was going back and forth, had some bit of offense and all that too. I'll say the spot I love where they was outside the ring, and you see Bron Breakker, he was looking to do this move that he'll jumps up on the announce table where the person be playing to that and will drop his weight on him, so to speak. So it looked like he was about to do that, but Seth Rollins got up and they both did like a double clothesline in midair, taking each other out. I thought that was dope. Then there was another spot outside where he put Rollins back on the announce table again and was looking to spear him to the announce table, but Seth was able to counter that into a pedigree and destroy the announce table there. So I thought that was dope. We knew it was going to be some interference, with division. Well, in this case, Austin Theory, as he was trying to get at Seth, and Seth was able to get him out the ring. And then you also had Paul Heyman to distract the refs and all, and that gave Bron Breakker the opportunity to go in. Oh, sorry, that gave Austin Theory the opportunity to hit Seth with the title, and then you see Bron Breakker go in and spear Seth Rollins. So once you think that's about to be done, and out of nowhere you see Montez Ford come through the crowd. He goes in there and does his leap out the ring onto Austin Theory, taking him out the equation. So as he's doing that, you see Braun Breaker on the other side, who's preparing himself to spear the shit out of Montez Ford, which he ended up doing. Then gets into the ring and then spears Seth Rollins. So we think like that's probably done. Covers him for the 1, the 2, and there's a kick out. So match still continues now. So I'm like, oh my god, now it's starting to like really pick up more. So Braun Breaker is starting to like, you know, gain momentum, so to speak, and all, but Seth is able to capitalize onto it. And then he see Paul Heyman. So Seth turns his attention to Paul Heyman outside the ring, and they get into an argument. And now, as he's seeing that, Braun looked at it like, all right, this is a golden opportunity to now catch Seth off guard. So he starts running around the ring, and right when he about to charge at Seth, they right by the barricade area, by the timekeeper table, Seth moved himself out the ring. Braun ended up spearing the shit out of Paul Heyman, and he sold that shit like $1 million. He sold that like $1 million. And now with Cuckoo Couture Warriors out the equation, Seth grabs the tag team title, and now Braun goes in there looking to spear Seth again while the ref's not looking, and he connected spear, but he collided with the tag team title. So that definitely took him out the equation now, which was smart on Seth's end. And of course, he throws it away, gets up, sets him up to hit him with a curse stomp, connects it for the 1, the 2, and the 3, and Seth comes away with the win. In my opinion, I thought that was fantastic. That match itself was good, and I enjoyed it for what it was, man. That was fantastic, and both men actually delivered. So that was a good way to close out the show and all that stuff. And we know that they're also going to be participants in the King of the Ring tournament as well. So we'll see what happens, but that was a good way to close out Monday Night Raw. I definitely enjoyed it for what it was. You know, didn't overstay its welcome, and it was some very good matches, some good segments on that show too. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But comment down below, let me know what was your favorite part of Monday Night Raw. Did you enjoy it or not? In my opinion, I give it a 10 out of 10. You know, I think it was very fast pacing with matches. The crowd was very energetic. Even the segments was good too. So there, let me know what would you rate it and everything down below. But I appreciate your love and support. Road to 300 subscribers. Continue to keep God first. So the process of anything that you do in life, your time will come. And I'm gonna catch you on the next video. Peace.